gotta get up and get it, get it. I got it, good. You gotta get up and get it, get it. I got it, good. You gotta get up and get it, I got it. You gotta get up and get it, I got it. You gotta get up and get it, I got it. You gotta get up and get it, I got it. Got my own phone and my own clothes. Got my own whip and my own crib. You heard it before, but don't question me now. Be independent women like Destiny's Child. You see me dressing with style. I make my own money, expect me to smile. We've been in a recession a while. Mama, to get paid, you gotta go the extra mile. You heard this message in music already. I'm just co-signing Lil Boozy and Webby. You know some fools always acting funny, but you depend on your baby daddy money. The system's whack, so you pimp them back, and you sell your kids out on your income tax. Stop it before you get caught up, and remember the words that the diva taught you. Buy your own vehicle and your own residence. Represent blacks like the president. You gotta get up and get it, I got it. You gotta get up and get it, I got it. You gotta get up and get it, I got it. You gotta get up and get it, I got it. Got my own phone and my own clothes. Got my own whip and my own. I grab my own thing, that's why he loves me and wanna spend a little time with the independent dime. Not renting, it's mine. She's so fly, there's something about her that Neo likes. Chicks wanna get paid, but sit in the damn house. Lazy heifers always looking for handouts. You already maxed out your credit card. When your debit card don't eat, you'll regret it hard. Can't look forward to tomorrow when just yesterday you was borrowing. I see girls fitted from the head to the floor. Can't even afford a loaf of bread at the store. Nobody's gonna give you what you're begging for. Forget a foot, you need both legs in the door. Buy your own vehicle and your own residence. Represent blacks like the president. I-N-D-E-P-E-N-D-E-N-T. Do you know what that means? I said I-N-D-E-P-E-N-D-E-N-T. Do you know what that means? You gotta get up and get it, I got it. You gotta get up and get it, I got it. You gotta get up and get it, I got it. You gotta get up and get it, I got it. Got my own phone and my own clothes. Got my own whip and my own crib.
Hey, how are you all doing? It's Thursday. Welcome. How are you all doing? Right, I've got this new setup. It's all happening. It's all been happening. Right, hang on. Let me see if I can control this today. Let's get rid of me. I've got everything going on. I feel like I'm at on the helm of the Starship Enterprise. How are we all doing? Let me move your comments around here. Let me just see what we are up to. Who we got in the house today? We have Carol. How you doing, Carol? We got Lee in the house. How you all doing? I hope you're having an absolutely marvellous, super day. I've got my cup of tea. No coffee. I'm hoping you can hear me. I'm hoping you can see me. I'm hoping this is happening. Tell me, in the zone, I'm happening today. Did you like the music? Good choice of music today, I thought. Something a little bit different, a little bit down with the kids, you know, that kind of stuff. I liked it. It was good. It was kind of my silly mood today. You've got a big border around you. Is that a good thing? I have got a big border. Yeah, look, up here. Yeah, look. We'll work on that, Lee. We'll work on that. Can you see me, though? We've been setting this up. I'm painting. Good. Right. Okay. Don't get distracted from painting. You stick to that painting. Let me have a swig of tea. I had a lovely cup of coffee with my son. He's been working with me today. We've been website designing. We have been doing lots of different things and setting up this. So let's hope it goes. I don't know why that big border is there. Maybe not. Loving the SR Pix mug. Thank you. Let me show you the SR Pix mug. This was actually designed. I'm going to give shout out to Max if he's watching. Max is my son. So you can see that SR Pix with the moustache. He designed that for me. It was a little, I think it's a birthday or Christmas present. I'm listening. You're good. What are we going to talk about today? I don't know. It's Thursday. The sun is shining. I feel like I should be out doing something. But I'm here talking to you, so don't worry about that. I hope that made you all jump. Right. Lots of things going on. Just checking the watch to make sure we are all on time. We're good. I'm sorry, so sorry for being late. All right, this is a really big thing that's happening at the moment. I've decided when I thought I'll set this scope up. No, I'm on the wrong channel. When I decided to go YouTube live in, I thought, okay, this is going to be easy. I thought I'll set this up between 4 and 5 every single day. I have yet. We've been seeing that in the mirror. In the mirror. I'm lost you. We're seeing that in mirror. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, on the thing. Oh, okay, I got you. That's fine. You get the idea, don't you? When I set this up, I thought to myself, well, 4 and 5 is a good time to be doing this every single day. This is day 3 of doing this, and I have not managed to actually get here at 5 between that time slot. So I might change this between 5 and 6. But the worry is if I change it between 5 and 6, that I might actually end up arriving between 6 and 7. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes anyway. But I'm so apologise to everybody that has been waiting for me to arrive. We had a few technical issues setting all this up, and then we won't even bore you with the details. But anyway, today's episode is all about creativity and finding your mojo and how everybody in the world needs a moustache in their lives. It's very, very important. Hang on, sip of tea. It's been a long day. You all need moustaches in your lives. First of all, the moustache is done. I did a Periscope earlier on and the moustache was not done and I got told off for not having it done. So it's all been done now. As a creative person, whatever you do, hello, Max Ramsey's in the house. Hey, well done, buddy. Thank you for your help today. Brilliant to see you. One of the big things that I find about being creative, and it doesn't matter what you're doing, if you're a painter, whether you're a cartoonist, whether you're a 3D designer, whether you're doing stuff for animation or whatever, is keeping your mojo there. I call it mojo. It's that kind of creative spark, that thing that makes you get into a conversation and then your ideas and your brainwaves go and you're not sure what you're going to do, and you get into this lovely zone that your creativity is just flowing big time and you have so many ideas, your brain's not working enough, you can't write them down quick enough, you can't talk about them quick enough, and it's so annoying when you lose that mojo. So I was going to try and offer some people some tips on how I try and get my mojo back, okay? So when I lose my mojo, I find it's not good. It's not good. I like, whether I'm out taking photographs, I can be on an assignment or just shooting photographs of myself. And it's really difficult to find that and get that sometimes and get going. You can be overwhelmed with the situation you're in and you've got a photograph and you think, where the heck am I going to start? There's so much going on. Where am I going to do? And just slow it down. If you go to a big event or something like that, it's like a firework. There are, Lee's just mentioned here. Totally, I say it's like a firework going off in my brain. Absolutely. And sometimes you need that. You're working, you're being employed to do something, or you just need to find that creativity and it's just not coming. Music, I find, is my big thing. I love putting on music. If I've got a load of editing to do, or I've got a load of stuff and I need to be creative for website pages, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Periscope, I'm going to interview somebody, something like that, writing a blog post. Music, I often find helps. My downtime, I'm always trying to watch. I find I get a lot of creative inspiration from films. Always trying to watch films. I love films. I sit down and watch a film. I can't really get into books. Some people read a lot of books. I can't get into books. It's just one of those things. I've tried so many times. Tried to read a lot, but I can't. So I watch a lot of the films. I love the way, for example, and this is leading on to something else. Dunkirk is an amazing film. If you've not seen it, go and check it out. We'll come back to that in a second. The way images and visuals are being created now and the use of music is really exciting. and the mood and the feeling. We were talking about feeling of, you've got to feel a photograph. You want to when you're taking images yesterday, we were talking about how you don't just take an image, you want to create a feeling. You want to create what the atmosphere is like when that image or that film is created or taken. Music is a great way of doing it. You can get so much across on that. Even just the spoken word is amazing just to use, just the narrative running through it. Then again, you could just totally lose all that and you could just put text quotes. There was something I was watching on TV. Excuse me while I just adjust my chair. Oh, by the way, do you like my new shirt? I got a new shirt. I got this new shirt. Now, I never do checkered shirts, okay? Now, I'm a bit worried I look like a lumberjack. Not that there's anything matter with the lumberjack, but I'm a little bit worried. But I've been assured by Max and my girlfriend that I do not look like a lumberjack. Although, if I put my hat on that I normally wear when I'm scoping, I may look like a lumberjack. So tell me if it looks really pants. But anyway, I thought, give it a go. So back to creativity. Yeah, so you can really get there. I was watching this program and I think it was out in India or somewhere like that. It was a documentary. I think it was BBC. BBC do some amazing documentaries out there. And so do loads of other people. But this particular show was out there. And it was really nice storytelling documentary piece about this guy that was making... I think he was making, what was he making? Oh yeah, I remember. He was making these amazingly large, what do you call them? Pillars. But he was carving them all out of wood. And he's creating these pillars. And what he would do, the guy and the producers and the directors, the way that they were filming it, they were filming it in a way that you would see his skills and the way that he was carving everything. But what they would actually do is every now and again when he was talking or whether there was some information they would put across. So if you imagine the screen now you're watching, I'm going to point to you now. They would put some lovely text quotes just across here and here and here. And they would dissolve in and dissolve out, which is a really nice way of telling a story. Carol's got a question. At least you don't blend into the wallpaper. Thank you, Carol. Although you're in the right setting, it is a wood. Lol, exactly. You see, that's maybe where I got the inspiration from my new shirts. Exactly. Thank you very much. So that was a really nice way of using visuals and bringing in the text elements of it without actually having somebody sat down and talking to you on a live documentary or a live video or a production, or which was really good. Really nice way of doing it. So going to see films really good. I tell you another thing, and I don't often watch a lot of them, but if you want inspiration, which is hence why it's linked with the mojo, getting your mojo back, you sometimes need to just watch something or hear something. I've noticed that sometimes if you go onto MTV and all the other channels that are out there that show the music videos, or even online, or go to YouTube and watch some of the music with the professional music videos. It's really interesting to see how they're creating them. You almost can depart yourself away from the music, turn off the music if you're not that keen on the song, and just watch the video and how it's produced and cut. It's really interesting because I think that whether it's photography, still pictures or moving pictures, it's very much the same. A great image is a great image. There is sure a slightly different way that you might capture that image, but it's all very relevant. Lee is back. I'm back. Weirdly ended up on Carol's channel. How interesting. Was it fun over on Carol's channel? I'll have to check it out later on, buddy. Nice to have you back. Thank you. So yeah, inspiration is a good place to be. So what I was talking about was Dunkirk. I went to see Dunkirk and I was really hoping it was going to be an amazing film. And I tried to avoid it. I remember when the first trailer came out for the Dunkirk film. It was about, I'll say, 6 months, 8 months ago. And I thought, wow, this looks amazing. If you've seen it, if you've not seen the trailer, the initial trailers of it, you've got all the soldiers out on, I can't remember what they call the jetty, but it's on the jetty. And the look of terror in their eyes where this plane is coming in. And the noise is amazing. And that was like, all set it up for me. I'm thinking this could be either a really excellent film or this could be a load of old rubbish. Let's see where this goes. And I purposely avoided going and seeing too much or reading too much about it. And then I finally went to see it at the IMAX. And it was absolutely amazing. If you want to go and see where film production is going losing my words, trying to think, where film production and movie production and creative storytelling is going. Go and see this film big time, okay? Not only is the filming absolutely amazing, and I put something up on my Facebook page which told you how they were using the IMAX cameras, which I knew very little about actually. I'd heard of them but didn't know the kind of restraints that they were working with. But the IMAX cameras are big, bulky things, and they had to literally design all the rigs and everything to enable them to walk with them and put them into aircraft and that kind of stuff. So that was fascinating. But the way that they told that film was outstanding. And there was, I can only remember one small thing. Did you see the smelly vision? No, I didn't. I believe I'm right in saying that I can only remember one shot of any, because it could have been a really gory film, okay? And I'm not a big fan of, I don't think they necessarily need to show blood and guts in a film. If you've got really good actors and actresses, you can easily tell a good story with character. Good characters, well acted stuff. Lee's saying IMAX. Wouldn't that be a robot version of Max? It could be actually IMAX. IMAX. Hello, how you doing? So the characters were amazing. I believe I only can remember one scene with a little bit of blood in it, and it wasn't even gory at that time. It was a very dramatic part of the film, a very sad part of the film, and that was pretty much it. And considering it's a war story and it's a war film, brilliant, brilliant, because it was character driven and it was just sublime, brilliant. It's going to be one of those films, and I don't often say it, I will be getting the DVD and looking back at it and going, how did they film that? There was only one sequence. There's a beautiful, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but there's a sequence in there. And maybe you guys, when you go and see it, can hit me up on Facebook or Twitter or whatever and see whether you can work out what the sequence is. But there's a sequence in there, and it was a poetic sequence. How can I describe this without spoiling the film? There's a poetic sequence of this aircraft, and it's very quiet, and it's gliding like this. I won't say any more about it. And I think they could have just held that on a little bit longer. But what do I know? I don't make feature films like that, so what do I know? But it was just beautiful. And I guess what I'm saying is it was so beautiful I wanted to see more of that little sequence because it was perfect. So Dunkirk, if you don't know, was a major event that went on. I would imagine you know the story. I won't go fully into the story. Go and Google it and you'll find out about it. Fascinating. Where all these little ships went over to Dunkirk because they had no choice. They had to get the Allied forces back from France because they had been driven out by the Nazis in World War II, and they needed saving. It was literally that was the story. I was joking. So Carol's saying, I wasn't joking. Someone told me they've done a version with intense sound and smells. Really? I've not heard that. So Carol was saying that they've actually done a version with, at the cinema, I guess, with really, really smelly. Well, I had immense sound. The sound was something else. Hi, Robert. How you doing? Cindy will do something called 4X with smells and movement. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. But the sound was amazing on it. So I had the opportunity, and forgive me if I don't know, I think it was 2 years ago now, because I was rushing around before I did this. But I went down for the 75th anniversary of the Dunkirk little ships coming back. So every year, so the little ships were called upon to go over by the Royal Navy in a time of trouble during World War II because they couldn't get the soldiers off of the beaches, okay, and they were being massacred. And they needed to get the Allied troops back over here, okay, because the Nazis were coming through and there was a big danger that they were going to be, the next stop was England, okay, and they were going to invade us. So they had to get our troops back over. And all these little ships, little boats and little vessels were commandeered and sailed over there, and they brought back many of the guys. So every year they have an anniversary down in Ramsgate in Kent, and all the little boats and all the little ships go down there and they sail out and recreate that journey over to France, Dunkirk, and they come back again. I went over and did some photographs. So this hopefully is going to work. I'm going to show you my website. I'm going to go little tiny me now. Tiny down here. It should work, hopefully. Okay. If I press the right button. Hold on to your hats. Has it worked? Yes, it has. Okay. So let me just show you this, and let's not move that because I'll get told off. Right, okay. Actually, I think I can move that. Yes, okay, good. So I had the opportunity to go over and photograph their return. Let me just scroll through on here and find a page for you. And I did a series of photographs. It's the first time I've ever experienced it. I've heard about it many times, never had the opportunity. So it's just my blog that you're looking at the moment. We'll just go and find that for you. To go down and take some photographs. I didn't have the opportunity to go down and take some pictures before they left, which was a shame. But I did have the opportunity to come back, and I thought, well, okay, you know, I think there's almost a story of them arriving back, you know, arriving back over in Ramsgate or in Kent. Let's just scroll down just a little further. We'll get there in the end, guys. Talk amongst yourselves. So I travelled all the way down there. It was a long day. Here we go. Dunkirk, the evacuation. Operation Dynamo is what it was called. 75th anniversary in Ramsgate in Kent. So I went down here. Now this is my favourite photograph from the day. So we're going to scoot past that one because I want to show you some of the other ones. I always tend to put my favouriteest photograph right at the top of the page. Hopefully our internet is going to be working nice and fast. There's lots of pages, there's lots of photographs on this one. So if you ever get the opportunity to go down and be part of this, I strongly recommend it. It happens every year and it's an amazing thing. So a lot of the people would dress up and give you lots of information, and there'd be music from the era down there. And we had a Spitfire fly past as well, which is a little bit of a dot in the horizon, actually, as you can see by the images. But this is the harbour, Ramsgate Royal Harbour. And I didn't want a close-up shot, so let's just get that lined up for you. There we go, that's better, isn't it? I didn't want a tight shot of the Spitfire coming in. I wanted to set the scene, okay? I wanted to set the scene of this. Hi Lee, I can answer that for you afterwards if you want, buddy. No problem at all. Yeah, private message me, no problem. Lee was just asking about what setup I got, and I'll be able to share that with you. So this image here was before the little ships were coming back, and they had to fly past the Spitfire. Could have gone on a tight shot of it. I didn't want a tight shot. To me, this was a scene setter. This was the shot I wanted to show the scene that maybe could have happened 75 years beforehand. So I'm rather pleased with that. I was actually stood on the top of a car park in Ramsgate. So if you ever go down there, I'm sure they will have other flypasts down there. I recommend there's a car park, a multi-storey car park in the town. You can stand right on the top, get your lenses ready and get a nice shot looking over the harbour. Then we've got the reenactors that were set up during the day. I did a few shots of them, again, just to kind of tell the story. This is all really the images that I saw. I thought it added to the story a little bit for my blog post. I wasn't there to get pictures of these guys, okay? It was great experience to be there, but I really didn't want that. There was one particular image that I wanted. And it's funny sometimes when you're working and when you're going to cover an event, sometimes what will happen is I will preconceive an image. I will already think of an image that I would ideally want to get, which makes no sense at all. Okay? Now, the reason why it makes no sense at all is because I haven't been to the event before. I have limited information of what's going on. There's so many different factors. Will I be in the right place? Will I have this, you know? But driving down there is a bit of a long drive to get down there. It was an early start, and I'm listening to the radio. I'm thinking, what is it? Actually, the night before, I remember even more, even, you know, before then, it was the night before I went down. I'm thinking, what kind of image that I wanted? And the image wasn't this. I didn't want any of this, but it made some good images. I wanted an image of the people watching, okay? I wanted a picture of the people stood on the harbour wall, ideally, or stood on, I hadn't been to Ramsgate before, so I'm going to guess there was a harbour wall of some description. I knew there was a harbour. I wanted, or on the beach, if there was a little bit of a beach. Turns out there wasn't. And I wanted a nice wide shot, and I wanted the little ships, little boats, be careful how I say that, the boats coming in, and then you looking past the people, and you've got the boats, the actual boats that went over and saved these guys and brought them back. They're the real thing. Okay, if you do not understand this, is just to clarify, these boats are the same boats that did it 75 years ago. Okay, they're the same ones, and there's actually a Dunkirk. If you go to my blog page, actually, right at the bottom, I've got a link to the association that kind of keeps all these guys together, and you can go and find out all the information about the boats, which is really fascinating. So let me just wipe my eye, getting emotional. So I had an image in mind. So I'm kind of waiting, and it's getting a bit later. I'm doing these kind of shots, and yeah, this is kind of nice shots, kind of sets the scene. It's okay. Then we get an announcement coming over that the boats are going to be not too far away. So I'm thinking, right, okay, I'm one of these people that likes to be in a position early. Okay, I would rather stand somewhere for an hour and a half than rush around and be late to the game. Okay, I've always tried to do it, and it drives some people up the wall because they stand with me. And it's like, why are we here so early, Scott? But again, we were talking about it yesterday, how you're feeling an image. Swig of tea. Feeling an image and creating an image. I've got an image in my mind that I want to create. So sometimes I have to kind of be in a situation. It's dependent on a lot of factors. The light, is it going to rain? Are the people going to stand around me? Can I get in amongst the people but not make it too cluttered? Will I even see the boats? Are the boats going to be that tiny in my photograph I can't see them? Or are they going to be so close that it doesn't work at all? So I've got to kind of be in the scene, get in the zone, I guess you call it, of creating these images. And building, you're kind of building, almost in your own head, you're building and you're checking out where I'm going to stand. So there was two positions. You've got the entrance to the harbour here, and everybody was over this side. And I'm thinking to myself, we've all done it, we've all been there. Should I be there? Should I be over there where all these people are stood? Or should I stay where I am? So this is the mouth of the harbour here, and the boats were going to go in between us. I thought, right, okay, no, I made that call. I made that decision. I think the main reason why I made that decision, I had some guys that were dressed in World War II uniforms that were near me. And then I thought, it's very crowded over that other side. And also, so A, can I get the photograph I wanted? And within the photograph, the story is that the boats are coming back into the harbour and Ramsgate. So I want to show Ramsgate, which you can see along the top there. So if I was over that side looking out, all I'm going to see is the sea. Could be an image, but it's not the image I wanted. So I stayed put, and I'm umming and ahhing, and what's going to go on? Am I going to stay there? So the boats start coming back. There was another photographer wandering around. I decided in the back of my mind, if I got any good images, I would send them out to the editorial and the press and kind of hopefully get something in the newspaper if it could happen. So talking about mojo, my biggest drive sometimes is when I'm on an assignment and there's other photographers around. I like to, I guess, in my own mind, I compete with them. I'm a great believer in being friendly to everybody, you know, and if you get a better shot than me, that's great, and you get a better position than me, that's great as a working photographer, you know. I'm always happy to everyone. Some people get so jealous with other people, and it's like, you know, get a bit snooty, I think is the word, and, you know, get a bit off with them. No, I just tend to talk to everybody, but I'm like that anyway. So I'm watching this other photographer and I'm thinking, okay, he's probably got a good line, he's got a good picture. I'm thinking, well, I've got to get a different picture from everybody else. And I'm seeing what lenses he's put on there. And I'm thinking, no, it's okay. He hasn't got a wide angle lens. I think he's going to be doing something different from me. I could see him messing around with a long lens. I thought, okay, that's fine. I think my idea still holds. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I've got this guy in this uniform. And if this guy in this uniform, and I think he was with a lady as well, and I got talking to them and I held my ground because it was getting busier around me. If this works, you've got a guy in a World War II uniform, and you've got hopefully some boats coming in, you've got the mouth of the harbour, this could be my image. I'm just going to stay where I am. And now it's a cat and mouse game in my head. I don't want to give away my type of picture, because some other photographers out there will actually, you know, come and see what I'm doing and stand right next to you, right there, all right, and nick your photograph. Now, a top tip, if you're a photographer, okay, I have always worked along the lines. There's not a lot you can do about it when you're, say, on a royal rota, or you're at a big, I don't know, an awards ceremony, and you've got no choice. You've got to kind of stick to it. But I've always tried to get different images from the people that are around me. I've gone away on a scene, which is a whole nother story, when I was covering a big news event, and all the photographers were waiting at this particular location, and I have purposely walked around the corner almost, walked away from the big group of photographers that dare not move because they're so petrified in somebody will get the same image as them, you know, or a different image, you know, they've got to get the same, they don't think for themselves sometimes. And I purposely taken myself out of that situation and gone somewhere else because I want a different image, yeah? And so to take that image, and I want to create something totally different. And at the same time, when I was working staff on the newspaper, I put my hand up. Sometimes it doesn't work. But at the same time, it's like, well, actually, you know, fair dues, my idea didn't work. But, you know, most of the time I was lucky and it paid off. And the picture desks and the editors liked my approach to images because I got something different. So every other photographer would have literally the same image where there's, you know, one photographer, 5 photographers get, you know, slightly different angles. And there's me over here, Mr. Maverick, okay, who always likes to be a bit different, is over here and shooting it totally differently, you know. So that's what I try and do. So I'm thinking about this now. I'm thinking about how I'm going to do this. I've got this idea. I don't want the other photographers to nick it. So I was going back to how photographers sometimes steal your photographs. If I'm stood next to somebody, I will also, when you're working in a group of photographers, I'll put this out there. Professional photographers, if you end up on a photo call and you're working together and you all end up on a photo call and there's 4 photographers from 4 different newspapers, and you have time to do this, what you would normally do is you say, okay, Joe over there, you're going to go first, you go and do your picture. And the other photographers will not take that picture. He creates his, or she creates their own picture. And then it'll be my turn. And I create my own picture, okay? And then the other photographer's turn, and then the other photographer's turn. That is the way professional news editorial photographers will work, okay? It's a profession. And it's an honourable profession. I'm not talking paparazzi. I'm not talking celebrity photography. I'm talking photographers that create a story with their images, yeah? And that's kind of what you do. And I've always tried to live by that as much as I can. So back to Ramsgate. And I'll show you the image. So the images started happening now. It's all happening and the boats started coming in. So I'll just go that. So I discover that we've now got a flag in the situation, okay? This is a good example. I'm so glad I've chosen this to show you because this actually kind of demonstrates my method in my thinking. So now I think there's somebody lurking. I don't know whether you can see them. There's somebody, I'm sure someone around there that's got a uniform on. I hope that end picture has someone with a uniform on. It might not do. I might be talking a load of rubbish. This is how I'm visualising it. It was a while ago now. And we've got the Union Jack there. Okay, brilliant. I'm thinking to myself now, wide angle shot. We've got quite a moody sky. You can see there's nice texture to that sky. I don't think I've got any flash. I might have poked a little bit of flash in there. And I'm thinking, you know, this is a lovely image. This could be really nice. This is what I was dreaming of last night before I arrived here. Yeah, wide angle shot boating. So that's my first image. So it starts to play out. The images start to come in. So this is the guy in the uniform. So I was right, he was there. I thought he was in an army uniform actually, but he wasn't. And I got talking to him. So while I'm there, I'm thinking, you know, I want this guy to know what I'm doing, and I don't want him in the crucial moment that I get that flag in the right place and I get the boat in the right place. I don't want all these people that I'm kind of getting in and chatting with to turn around and look straight at the camera. I don't want any of that, or say, what are you doing, or whatever. So I'm explaining to them what I'm doing. I'm doing some pictures. This guy goes down to this regularly and he was fine, and I think his wife or his girlfriend were there and we were chatting. So you can see the little boats are starting to come back. I'm running with 2 cameras, okay, because I wanted to get, let's just zoom that up. I'm running 2 cameras. People often ask me why I run with 2 cameras. Okay, it's to cut down on time. It's speed. So traditionally, as a photographer, what you do is, this is the setup that I run with. You have 1 camera over your shoulder that's normally got a long lens on it. Okay, so normally it's a 70 to 200 mil telephoto lens, which I'm taking stuff like this on. These images are going out there and I'm grabbing those as they come in. I've then got another camera normally around my neck, which has got a wide angle on there. So normally a wide angle zoom. So I think I've got about, I can't remember the precise dimensions of what I've got, but it's about a 17 mil to something like a 28 or something like that, which gives me that lovely wide perspective, almost from a fisheye through to a wide. This might be a little bit wider actually. I might have gone with the 28 to 70, but I got a feeling I went in. So I'm shooting now the photographs, okay? I can get some images on the long lens as the boats are coming in. Remember that none of these are my images. This isn't the image that I have gone down there to create, okay? These are just stock images. You know, they're kind of just images of the boats. I thought, well, you know, I'm here. It looks quite nice. It's nice to get something out of it. They might come in handy. Here's a good example of, and it paid off, why I didn't go across to the other side of the harbour. So it paid off because you've got the boat, the fishing boat coming in, and you've got all the people lining up here cheering and waving flags. Don't know why I'm pointing because you can't see what I'm pointing at. I'll use my finger here. So you can see that the image has worked from exactly where I want. So I'm thinking, good, this is good news. This is working for me. So we'll scroll through. This is probably one of my longer blog posts because there was a lot of boats and I wanted to put in as many as possible. So a few more boats are coming in. And then we got the image, and the image is happening. Yeah, location, location, location. Absolutely, Carol. Carol's just mentioned that. So now the images are happening. This, I can honestly say, this was an image that I had hoped to take hours before. Okay? You play with it, you play with your position. At one point, I've got a bit of flash on there, and as I scroll down, I'll be able to, I don't know whether any of those images are up here. I think they might be. So wide angle now, okay? Aperture priority, okay? This is movement, this is happening. This is, you've literally got time to do this, okay? The camera here. Okay, I've got people around me. I've already been jostled a couple of times because people actually want to be now in my position that I've been stood in for the last hour. And I'm going, I ain't going anywhere. Patience is the name again, absolutely. I'm thinking, camera's up here now. I've got the long lens dangling down here and that's getting knocked around. And I'm going, do I need a bit of flash on this? Do I not need a bit of flash on that? I'm sure at some point I've got a flash on an extension lead here, which so I could run a flash up high just to put a little bit of detail in the figures that are stood there and just give them a bit of oomph. I don't think that it's got any flash in it at all. I think there's no flash. And the images are happening. And this is when that magic just starts happening, and you don't even take many images, and you just time. You've got to slow it down, and just start looking. You've got to remember to look because your heart's going bum 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 bum. It's like happening. Another boat. So I'm getting lots of the images I want now, and it's working like a dream. I'm getting, yeah, wide angle shot. This guy's really leaning out. You know, she's got her hair up in the bun. It all kind of looks kind of 1940s kind of style. The flags are flying. It's all happening. It's really, really coming together. Another shot there. Leaning out. This guy couldn't lean out any further. It's beautiful, really wide, immersive shot. The sky's being filled. Let's be honest, if those flags weren't in the photograph, probably the wide angle wouldn't have worked as well. Because it just, look at the top of the image. Crops in lovely. It's as if I've just said, hold that flag right up there and do that right now. And I haven't. I've just let that moment happen. Yeah? So here we go. You see the difference now. So now it's working. I've got my safe photographs. We'll talk about safe pictures another time. But when I've got my safe photographs, I'm thinking to myself, okay, now I've got something in the can. I'm going to see if I can improve the quality of this image, right? No flash. I'm pretty sure there's no flash on that image. So now I'm thinking, okay, I just bought a new extension lead actually for the flash. And I'm thinking, right now I can put in a bit of flash in here and see. You can see now how the image got this nice little bit of light on there just to emphasize the people. Because as much as the boats are the story, to me now almost the people are the story. Does that make sense? The people are now taking over the story because there's this dedication that all these people have taken their time out to stand down on here and waiting for these little boats to come back. So I'm drawn towards the people, yeah, not just a static photograph of the boat. The enthusiasm that they have to wave every single boat coming back is amazing. So you can see the flash now is bringing those colours in really, boom, giving it that nice little hit. So what I'm doing is camera here, long camera down here, long lens over here. I think I had a backpack on my back with all my gear in. I've got people jostling me. I've got so Nikon, I think it's taken on the Nikon D800. I've got a wide angle lens on here and I've got the flash up here in this hand with an extension cord running all the way up. No softbox on there, okay? Just up high as I possibly can. I'm going to have to go back. I'm going to go back. Hold on. Back. Okay, so I'm down here. I'm like this. I'm like this, okay? And I'm going, right, and this camera keeps falling off this bloody shoulder, and I'm thinking, oh, God, whose idea was this? It's getting a bit cold. It looks like it's going to rain. Is this in focus? Hang on, I can't change the aperture. You've got the flash. Ping, boom, done. Flash. Is it sharp? Has the flash frozen the flag? I don't know what's happening. Just keep going. Flash, straight down, up high. Bang, right down onto them. Bang, right down onto them. Just making that colour zing. All right? We'll go through another image. So now I can play around with it. We've got more images happening. This lady here, if I was ultra picky, a little bit distracting. So the lady on the right, it's me pointing again. I'm so used to doing Periscope. The lady on the right is probably distracting me a little bit, but you've got to go with what you have. I couldn't move any further to my left by now because everybody's behind me. There's no chance of moving. Got to go with it. At least she's got a flag. If she hadn't got a flag, it really wouldn't be a big no-no. I do manage to change my angle a little bit. You can see my thought. I wonder whether this pink and striped top is a little bit distracting in my photograph. So I'm going to go all the way over here, and I'm going to do this. And I'm going to go around to the side a little bit. So there's my guy, and he's got his sailor's uniform on, the Royal Navy uniform on there, and he's got the flags going just round to the side a little bit. I pinked almost wrong. Flash now, lose the flash, okay? Haven't got the flash in there. A little bit artistic kind of photograph there. I've got my safe shot. I'm getting a little bit now. Let's do something out there. Let's do something. Look how calm that water was. Another nice long shot again with the crowds coming in. Back to the flag waving. Different boat. Nice wide shot. I'm not an expert on naval craft, but I think that's a little minesweeper back there. Actually, I've put it in the text there. Another flag flying. Different angle. Still kind of works, even though you've got that kind of pole coming through, sliding through the side of the image. Kind of draws your eye a little bit. Now just hands in the photograph. Just hands and flags, just there. Minesweeper going through. Can't beat a good picture of a flag, okay? Because I'm thinking editorial now. Like the framing of the boats. Thank you, Carol. Up against the sky, nice. I think it popped a little bit of flash in there. And there's the story behind the photographs. So what I'm going to do is just scoot you back to my favourite image, which where you saw right at the beginning. So this is my favourite image at the time. Sometimes it changes. Now I'm reviewing them again. And I'm thinking, maybe I've got a better image. Let's go all the way back to the top. I'll put the link in for this to the blog post if you want to go and have a little look and you can read about it. So this was my favourite image. I decided this was my image. Let's just line that up for you. This is it. I like the curling of the flag. I like the movement of that centre flag in there. You could get, I'm going to sound really artistic about why I'm liking this image. Another person would look at this and say, absolutely hate it, Scott. It's a load of old rubbish. I like this image. This is an image for me. This is the image that I've created. Perfect image for me. Okay? From that situation, perfect image. In an ideal situation, you would probably have another boat in there. In an ideal situation, you would have a Spitfire flying through the sky, just giving us a little tilt with its wings as it's going across like that, with Tom Hardy waving out of the window. But you know, we didn't. This is what we've got, and you've got to work with what you've got. I like the lighting. I like the fact that it draws you in there. You've got a little bit of shadow just on her arm there, so you've got a bit of depth to the photograph. It's not a flat image. It's an overcast day. Detail in the sky. I was pleased with that. It's like, good job done. And that's it. I'm going to take a swig of tea because I've been talking lots. So to go back to Mojo. Thank you. Thank you, Robert. What Robert's just say, wonderful atmosphere there. Thank you. Let's just bring this back to me. So Mojo, that's what it's all about. So if you are in a position where you're losing your mojo, and I've been there, and you don't know when it's going to arrive, you just kind of think, do you know what? There's this event I was going to go and photograph tomorrow, or film, or and I've had it in the diary for weeks, but actually it's Friday night. I've got to start early on a Saturday morning, and I'm tired already because I've had a busy week, and do I really want to go all the way over and travel miles and get some pictures, And I would say that Friday night, you've put that job, that assignment, think of it as an assignment, you've put that in your diary for a reason. It could be a car show or something. And you've put that in there maybe months ago. There we go. You see, there are, Robert's just said, I was like that with a recent car show. Yeah, I knew you would be because I've been the same. And you go to yourself, do you know what? Forget it. I don't need another picture of a car, do I? I've been there for months. That's it. And it's horrible, isn't it, Carol? So what I would say is, and what works for me is, you put that date in your calendar or on your diary or whatever. Hey, Patrick, how you doing, buddy? Nice of you to join us. Thank you. You've put that in your diary for a reason, okay? So now is your time not to think about even going anywhere. Just don't, just say to yourself, I'm going because I put this in my diary, and put it out of your mind. Go and listen then, all right? Just say, right, I'm going. I'm just doing it. I have to do this, because you'll kick yourself when you don't. And if you sit thinking about it all night long, or a couple of days in advance, you'll come up with 101 reasons why you can't be bothered to go out and do some pictures. Nobody's paying you for the job. You've got better things to do. The carpet needs cleaning. The car needs washing, whatever. Forget all that. Just stick to the point and go, right, I'm going, and I'm just going to go. Put it to the back of your mind. I'm going to get up, set the alarm and go. And just go and do it. And that night before, listen to some great music. Watch a film. Think about it. Think anything but that. But in the back of your mind, you can think about the images and try and, and you'll find once you're there, if your mojo's not there, talk to some people, get talking, use their enthusiasm for that car show Robert was talking about that he wasn't sure he was going to go. don't take a picture for a while. Walk around and enjoy it and have a cup of coffee and just take in the atmosphere. And I guarantee that something will trigger your inspiration. Blaming the weather. Robert's just said he's even blamed the weather. I blame the weather. It's cold, it's wet, it's horrible. The light is awful, I'm not bothering. Actually, I forget how much I enjoy the challenge of getting a good picture with bad light. So just put that aside, go and talk to some people. You've arrived there, you've made it there, you've done the long journey, you're tired, you're not really in the mood for it. Just then talk to people around you, talk about somebody with their cars, have a cup of coffee. And you might find that you'll get inspiration. And sometimes you'll be inspired from then on and you'll cover that whole event. And another time, you'll go, I've really tried to get into this event that I've decided to go and take photographs of, and it's not working. What a rubbish day. You know, Scott's talked a load of rubbish. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I've tried what he said. It doesn't work. I'm going home now. And then on your way home, all right, on your way home, because it's happened to me, you haven't even taken a photograph at the day, or you've done a couple just to make it worthwhile. And on your way home, you'll suddenly see this amazing sky, or you'll see a rainbow, or you'll see a cow in a field and the light is perfect, or I don't know, you'll bump into somebody that will suddenly bring you onto another little story and you'll get sidetracked, and then you'll get an amazing photograph or you get an amazing story. Yes, the famous blank sheet of paper all artists struggle with, Patrick. That's exactly what we're talking about. So my top tip is this weekend, it's Thursday today, Friday, Saturday, okay, I'm out and about doing stuff. Sunday, there's an opportunity for me to go out and possibly cover an event, which I think I put it in my diary. It's exactly the same thing. I've put this in my diary and there's a good chance that I'm going to go along. But I'm already thinking I've had a busy week, and really, do I want to go along? It's off my own back. I'm not being paid to do it, but it could make a nice periscope. It could make a nice video. It could make a nice set of photographs. It could make a nice post for my blog. So I'm already thinking now, you know, can I be bothered? Maybe I'll just have a nice day at home. But no, I'm gonna, you know, unless something else comes up, family orientated, all right, and I've got to go and do something that's family always comes first. But unless something like that doesn't come up, I'm going to go and just go and do it. So you guys can come and join me, hopefully on Periscope Live, when I'm going to broadcast that. Be kind to yourself. Sometimes that means a bit of tough love. Exactly. Don't overthink it. Just go and do it. I have talked now for nearly 1 hour, so I have had... even I have run out of steam now. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope I've inspired you a little bit to get out with your cameras, paintbrushes. Carol, that would have made amazing photo. You could have been down there taking sketches and painting that. Yeah, it's all about the visuals and sharing it and everything like that. Have a great rest of the Thursday. I'm being very kind of doing all this with my hands. I don't know why. Thank you very much for joining me. I will see you all again soon. Have a great evening and adios from Scott. See you later, guys. Bye.